All right, guys, thank you for joining me tonight. As, and I do apologize for holding a live stream on a Saturday night. I normally don't. Thank you, Dan Phillips, for the 5 by 5. But because my work schedule, I have to try to fit it in where I can. So next week it'll probably be regular schedule, or rather, it'll be Tuesday, Friday next week. Next week, so it'll be fine. I know Pinball has one right now as we speak as well. So again, I do apologize for that. But anyway, Ozark Prepper, Mercedes, thank you for the 5 by 5. Ali, Jeep Girl, Flown Grown, Ken, Mr. Joshua, Patrice, Ken B, Water Tiger, Rooster, Big Papa, Janine, Blackfoot, thank you for the 5 by 5. Dan Phillips, yes, I shaved my face. Caribbean House, Let's Talk Prepping. Linda, thank you for joining us. Thank you for the 5 by 5 guys. Buy the book. Get prepared. Dow, Angelwood, Melissa, thank you for the 5 by 5. Pat Murphy said, no cursing, please. I'm going to not try my best. Maria, Florida, South Florida, rather. Thank you for the 5 by 5. Mr. Joshua, thank you for that again. Cat Lady, Mad Cow, Bush Pig, Pat Murphy. Pat Murphy again. Prep to Adapt, thank you for the 5 by 5. Scott, thank you for the 5 by 5. Forgiven Disciple, thank you for the 5 by 5. Lumbagus, thank you for the donation. Eat a spam sandwich on stream. Never. Scorpio Tiger. Tanya? If I said that right? Thank you for 5 by 5. Oh, wrong. Sorry. Carlos, thank you for 5 by 5. Biffer. Kathy, thank you for the 5 by 5. And FUS. And No Sheeple, thank you for the 5 by 5. So, guys, yeah, man, a lot's going on. A lot. Listen, and I'm going to say this probably almost every live stream, but things are going to increase as per usual. Not as per usual, but it's going to increase just because of the shit that's going on. Things are going to get seemingly more out of control as the days go by. Right? And it is what it is. Scorpio, Martino, thank you for the 5 by 5. Chris from Detroit, thank you for the 5 by 5. So, yeah, again, guys, and I'm going to talk about what happened in New York. Someone said lost the feed. Someone said what the fuck or what happened. I'm still looking at myself on my my iPad, so it's still here. Flown Grown, I did see that, so I will take a look at it later. If you can still see me, let me know. I know some people are saying they can't, saying that I hit a wrong button. And then some people are saying what happened, it stopped. So, yeah, I don't know. Somebody said 5 by 5. Adriana said 5 by 5. Get prepared, Shannon, Flown Grown. Everybody still sees me. And a couple of people said that the stream went off. Someone said you're good. The video's working fine. Thank you. Jeep Girl said, okay, better now. Stream is fine. All right, guys, thank you. Appreciate it. Loud and clear. Oh, Penny saying, what the fuck, every day. Okay, I get it now. All right, yeah. Listen, every day, and you know what I saw the writings on the wall. I don't think I mentioned it before, but we knew without saying anything that the Palestinian protesting was going to get worse from day to day. And they have gotten aggressively worse. I mean, I've never seen anything like it. I've never seen the shit show that we're seeing now. Things are just inherently bad, and especially for Jews. Forget about it. I mean, they're getting it. And there's not. I mean, the only thing that could be done is for those that need to protect themselves, protect yourself. Fuck it, man. If you really want to piss off Muslims, wrap yourself in bacon. They will not touch you. I know that Jews don't deal with pork either, but maybe wear a plastic lined bacon bag. I don't know, whatever, or just start throwing bacon at them like fucking grenades, right? Just fucking start peeling off strips and fucking throwing it at them. That might enrage them even more. Whatever. But And then Pat Murphy said, "Do not curse. Fuck, shit, piss." I'll try not to. But yeah, guys, it's getting out of control. But the bacon suit is your best defense. If you it's weird when I every time I do a live stream. If I'm not doing a live stream, no one will text me. As soon as I get on, everybody's like, as soon as I get on, everybody and their mother wants to text me. And not that they're doing it on purpose. It's just that's how it works. Or you can cover yourself with spam. Right, whatever. But listen, man, I whatever you have to do to protect yourself, do it. Because it's getting to a point now where because the behavior is going unchecked around the world. Now I know in Germany they were letting them have it, so I don't know if Germany is going through the same thing like London is or Australia. Australia had a all-out brawl, or rather, not so much a brawl, but it was it was a brawl. It was a brawl. I'm going to get to that in a little bit, but I found that story to be pretty interesting. So here in New York, we had a situation. I just did a video about an hour ago because I saw this video. I saw what was going on. Um, and I was working. Had I not been working, I would have probably been there. But these kids are increasingly getting worse. Now, again, they could take that energy, that anger, and fly their asses over to Palestine and handle it there. But instead, they want to come here and start their shit. But whatever. Joel asks if something happened. Well, no. What happened downtown wasn't bad. It's just the beginning of something getting out of hand. And it's not going to be checked. That's the unfortunate thing. Things are going to, here in New York City, they're not going to check it until they start beating up cops. And then after that, they're going to have to do something. But yeah, whatever. It's just a shit show. So today's show, if you will, we're going to talk about. Well, we're going to do Israeli updates in a little bit. We're going to talk about that later because there's a lot of shit to cover, as you know, as we all know. But I wanted to talk about the attack on U.S. soil. Now, there's been a video or videos going around. There's been videos going around as to which cities are going to get hit. Now, the roaming prepper did a short on it on his Instagram page. And after he did it, I sort of dived into it as well. And I looked and I couldn't find anything on these supposed cities or FBI or Congress letting us know that these cities are going to be hit. In fact, I even typed it in. FBI and Congress warning U.S. citizens, and nothing came up on this list. So I'm not sure why this video was circulating. I don't know where this information came from, but the FBI did warn of increased terror threats, but there has been no list on this. So we definitely have. Sorry, we definitely have issues because people are believing this video, and I think one or two people not emailed me, but left a comment in one of my videos in the section, and I was just like, I said I don't know. So I did a video on it. I'm going to do a video on this because we got to be careful, guys, of what the fuck we're listening to. Again, I don't know where this kid got this video from or this information from. I don't know why he did the video. Again, you could do the research on yourself and let me know whether or not you can find it. But supposedly the FBI and Congress had warned U.S. citizens about possible attack on American soil by terrorist organizations or lone wolves. Now, there was a list that is going around. And yes, AI fakes are going crazy. I'm going to get into that in a little bit. But there's a list going around, and the list goes as such. And a couple of places on this list didn't make sense. Now, on the list, guys, is all of New York. which makes no sense. As soon as the guy said that, I had my suspicion that the list was fake. All of New York, yeah, go upstate New York and see how that works out. Motherfuckers up there do not play. They're like the complete opposite of us down here in upstate New York, like all of upstate New York, right? Washington, D.C., Santa Clara, California, San Francisco, California, Los Angeles, San Diego, California, Houston, Arlington, Texas, Dallas, Baton Rouge, Louisiana, Fort Lauderdale, Florida, Orlando, Tampa, Boston, Plainsfield, Illinois, Chicago, Cleveland, Ohio, Laurel, Maryland. Now, I was in Laurel, Maryland the other day when I stayed at the hotel. Why the hell would you hit there? I don't know. Potomac, Maryland, Harrington, Virginia, Springfield, Virginia, Raleigh, North Carolina, Philly, Charlotte, North Carolina, Detroit, Columbia, Missouri, Kansas City, Missouri, Denver, Oklahoma City, Tucson, and Seattle. The list didn't make sense as to why these specific places get hit. So it sent up a bit of a red flag for me. So anyway, this list, guys. So this list is seemingly bullshit, but I couldn't find anything on it other than, again, the FBI warning us of increased terror attacks. Now, with the increased terror attacks, guys, as we are watching these Palestinian protests all over the United States get more violent, as we saw a guy get killed last week, and we're watching them destroy and break shit now. In fact, in my video I'm releasing tomorrow morning, I have a video footage of a kid climbing a light pole and snapping American flags off and replacing it with Palestinian flags. So again, guys, things are seemingly getting worse. Information is getting crossed. There's a lot of misinformation out there from both sides. Whether you're pro-Palestinian or pro-Israeli, we got misinformation from both sides. Shit is just getting out of control, and apparently people are believing what the fuck they're being told without doing any research. So people like myself, the roaming prepper, pinball preparedness, we do our research and dive a little deeper into the stuff before reporting it. At the very least, we just put it out there, and if there is information on it, we shall see. Now, in this video, the guy states that the attacks will happen simultaneously. I don't know. I do not know. It's an interesting thing that this list came out, and I couldn't find a fucking thing on this thing. Like, nothing. So, yeah. That's weird. So, again, guys, in case anything does happen, these are the cities that will probably be hit. I doubt it very much that we're going to see anything big. But do me a favor in the middle of that saying, hit the thumbs up or the thumbs down. Helps out with the algorithm and all that crazy bullshit. YouTube is having a hard time right now. I don't know what's going on with them. I said last week or earlier this week, something's going on with YouTube, and they're just having a problem. They're probably being hacked. They're probably being hacked from across the sea. It's why they're having so many issues right now. So anything that goes on, guys, I as much as I'd like to throw YouTube under the bus, that's not so. Also, a bit of good news. Eric Adams is being investigated by the FBI for that campaign fraud that his campaign manager was involved in, but somehow now they have taken Eric Adams' computer, iPad, and his cell phone. So, here's the interesting thing about Eric Adams and his bullshit. No, 1,000 silver. Here's the interesting thing about Eric Adams. He started attacking the Biden administration about the illegal immigrant problem that we're having here in New York City. As a lot of you know, we're being flooded with migrants left and right. At this point, they're falling out of the skies with little parachutes on their back and landing in various spots in the city. With that, he started attacking the Biden administration and calling them weak and all kinds of shit. He was throwing them under the bus. A couple of weeks later, or maybe a month later, This happened. So it is not a coincidence, guys, that he is now being investigated for opening his mouth. Like, not at all. So one side of me is like, good for him, but the other side of me is like, this is what happens when you break the ranks, right? When you sit there and you go, you know what? Enough. There's too many illegals here. The Biden administration's got to do something about it. And now they're crunching his nuts. They got his nuts in a vice grip right now. And in fact, Eric Adams even lawyered up. So Rip Curl, readiness. If you are late, I don't think there's going to be an attack. Listen, there probably will be an attack on U.S. soil, but there's a video going around stating the cities that it's going to happen in, and I don't think it's going to be that bad, but whatever. Yeah, so yeah, Eric Adams is screwed. So fuck him. Good for him. You know, I mean, one side of me is like good for him, but the other side of me is like, but he was speaking up, and look what happened. So he broke rank. He didn't go. You know, he went against the flow, if you will, and now he's getting his ass handed to him. So listen, such is life, man. You want to be fucking, Daddy Warbucks and Big Willie and all this other bullshit. So now he's suffering the consequences. So yeah, guys. Anyway, with that being said, Gail, thank you for joining us. So that being said, we're definitely going to see something, guys. I have this feeling, and I'm hoping it's just a feeling, and it's a feeling that goes nowhere. But I just have this feeling, and something about Christmas, and that's all that's been bothering me the last week now. It wasn't a dream. I was just thinking about it. I'm like, yo, what if they launched a massive attack on Christmas? Now, if you go downtown to Rockefeller Center, it is packed on Christmas. You would think you would go to Rockefeller Center on Christmas Day and it'd be empty. No, there are way too many people down there. You're like, where the fuck did all these people come from? Why aren't they at home opening gifts? Nope, they're not. They're standing in Rockefeller Center looking at the fucking tree, which it is a spectacular tree to look at. I don't care whether you celebrate Christmas or not. That is one place. If you ever come to New York City, you gotta see. You gotta see Rockefeller Center. It's pretty. It's a nice thing to look at. Anyway, so with that, guys, I just have this feeling, this odd feeling that it could be on Christmas, but who knows? Okay. Sorry, guys. My one of my kids' mothers. Hear me? She's flying to Berlin as we speak, and so our plane's delayed. So just keeping her entertained. She doesn't want to fucking fly there. It's a shit. I told her it was a shit show in Berlin, but apparently the German police got it under control, so she should be fine when she gets there. Anyway, let's get on with the Israeli updates. We are almost 20 minutes in. Not bad. So, Israeli media is air defense system in the south intercepted two air threats in the Dead Sea region. Um, every time I read a lot of these like titled reports, if you will, they always say it came from the north, it came from the south, as if they're trying to suggest something else. I mean, maybe I'm reading a little too much into it, but I just like, yeah, it came from the north. You know where the missiles came from? Just fucking tell us where it came from. Stop saying it flew from the south, it flew from the north, it flew from here. We suspect. You know exactly where the missiles came from. You know the trajectory of these missiles and these weapons. I don't know why they keep fucking. And the other thing is, what is a suicide drone? Why am I like? The first time I heard of a suicide drone was with this bullshit going on overseas, and I'm like, it's not a suicide drone. Like, why would you say a drone is not suiciding itself? It's not alive. It's not AI. It's not a robot that. It's not Johnny Five. It's not killing itself. But they call it a suicide drone. And just call it a drone bomb or some shit. I don't know. But anyway, maybe somebody from the military could simplify it for me, or maybe I'm just making it a bigger deal than it should be. Who knows? All right, the administration of Indonesia Hospital in northern Gaza turned a square next to the hospital into a mass grave for the unidentified martyrs. I don't know why they keep doing that, but whatever. Netanyahu states, "We will not stop until the mission is accomplished and the war advances, and its goal is victory, and there is no alternative to that." Now, I think Israel is in revenge mode, and they have been there for a while. And as long as they're seeing red, they're not going to see anything else. And this is going to end bad for everyone. So, again, with the whole "we will not stop until the mission's complete," trying to get rid of Hamas is like trying to get rid of cockroaches. It's never going to happen. So, yeah. Is the chat on fire today? Because I'm watching some shit. Yeah, okay. It is on fire. Yeah, Dan Phillips, maybe kamikaze drone. Something, but, it doesn't drop a payload. It is... Right, if it is the payload, then it's not a suicide drone. But yeah, I don't know. I see some you guys not mentioning John's name a lot. Is he losing his shit? Okay, he might be. Whatever. So one thing about prepper channels, guys, you always get people, weirdos. So I don't know. And John could be right. He could be right. I could be completely wrong. He could be fucking the savior of us all. Whatever. So, guys, Israel Channel 13. This is a news channel over in Israel. Advanced negotiation to conclude a deal to exchange prisoners in large numbers with the exception of Israeli soldiers. Not good. Israeli army announces 5 Israeli soldiers were killed in the ongoing clash in the Gaza Strip today. Saeed Narsal, there is unfortunately talk about an Arab response to Yemen missiles and marches. I'd like to see that. I would definitely like to see that if people are going to if they're going to respond to Yemen, rather. Sorry. So now the Crown Prince of Kuwait. I was waiting for Kuwait to step in and say some shit. A month later, they start stepping in and saying some shit, at least from what I started finding. Israel Crimes confirms the practice of collective punishment in an unjustifiable manner and reveals double standards. Kuwait Crown Prince again states, "We call on the international community to play its role and protect the Palestinian people." Now, I think Israel is getting a little carried away with the bombing. That is my opinion. There is stopping a threat, and then there's going overboard. And again, they do have boots on the ground, but they continue to bomb in certain areas where they just need to stop and send dudes in there and clean it up that way. Again, you can only fumigate roaches so much until you have to actually get hands-on and start smacking them with newspapers. In their case, whatever weapons they carry. The Crown Prince again, "We demand a Palestinian state on the borders of June 4th, 1967, with East Jerusalem as its capital." That's never going to happen. Announcement from the Iranian president, "All corruption comes from the United States," of course it does, "which abolishes international laws and ignites strifes in the world." The United States gets blamed for everything. And the crazy shit is that when you look at other countries that are, I don't know, killing their people by the hundreds of thousands, and yet the United States still gets blamed for all the atrocities in the world. Listen, the United States is not the good guy, right? We clearly have our shit. We are underhanded, we're backstabby in a way, but you can't blame us for every atrocity. And as soon as an atrocity pops up that you don't like, all of a sudden we get the blame for this shit. It's like, seriously, man, like, we are the fall guy for everything that happens in the world, and we are in fact not it. There are mass killings going on as we speak in other countries, but no one's talking about those mass killings. No one's talking about those genocidal wars that are still going on in other countries. They are focused on Israel and Palestine, and they're talking about, oh, the Palestinians are being wiped out. I'm like, yeah, but why are we focused just on this? Why are we not focused on the smaller countries? Well, because this is all where the money is. The money is in this, and I'm gonna read an article a little bit as to why. If you follow the money, it goes right to Gaza, and Israel has an angle on this. I know somebody last week told me that's not true. My buddy Rick found an article back in July stating what Israel wants to do with Gaza ports. Anyway, moving right along. Again, the announcement, Iranian president, killing civilians and bombing hospitals are a manifestation of Israeli crime in Gaza. Turkish president announced 73% of those who lost their lives in Gaza and the West Bank were women and children. And this state of madness is unfathomable. Now, why are 73% of women and kids killed? Where the fuck are the men then? Are they running away and leaving their wife and kids behind? Because they're not fighting. That's for fucking sure. So I don't know where the Turkish president got these numbers from, but he's on that side of the world. I'm going to take his word for it. So, Saudi Crown Prince, we renewed our demand for an immediate succession of military operation in Gaza. They want to stop military operations in Gaza. I don't see that happening. Something else drastic has to happen for that to happen. And you all know what I mean by that. But okay. Again, I'm not minding my business with the chat, and I'm reading certain things. I'm like, it looks like it's going off tonight. Whatever. I don't want no part of it. Leave me out of it. But anyway, news, guys. So a group of people. So this is another ongoing problem that we're seeing here. We haven't seen it here in the United States yet, or at least we haven't seen it in New York yet. But apparently, Starbucks is getting their asses handed to them in other countries. So a group of people threw stones at a Starbucks coffee shop in Istanbul. Didn't even know they had one there. It's actually in a city called Esenyurt, Istanbul. I said that wrong. Starbucks stood by Israel, even though it isn't. There isn't one Starbucks in Israel. So isn't that some shit? But anyway, Starbucks took a stand. Everybody's breaking their balls. Now, if you go past some Starbucks downtown, there's stickers over it, I think saying stop genocide or something like that. But there's stickers all over their glass. It's not like one, they're covered. So Israel made a stance, and then, Starbucks made a stance, and they're not backing down. Good for them. Lyon, France. The French Patriots. I didn't know there was such a thing as French Patriot. It's almost like an oxymoron, but whatever. French Patriots had enough with the Islamics, the Muslims, if you will, who are destroying France and are finally taken to the streets. There is video of them in the streets handing Muslim people their asses. That's what needs to happen. So I find that to be interesting. Now, more news. Details emerge on a mass slaughter in Sudan by Hamas-linked jihadists. Now, there are Sudanese being killed by the hundreds as we speak in Africa right now, or rather in Sudan, sorry. So governmental aid agencies and non-for-profits have shared social media videos from the jihadi account showing residents of Darfur, which has been through a lot already, continuing to go through it, being rounded up, and later in the video, you see dozens of bodies strewn across the area. African media reports the death count is up to 773 Christians, making up the bulk of that, 773. No one's talking about that. The Jawi, I'm going to pronounce this wrong too, the Janjaweed terrorist group is allied with a network of militias in the Middle East and North Africa, which includes Hamas and Hezbollah, both proxies of the Iranian regime. Social media accounts on Tuesday are urging the West to respond as all eyes are still on Hamas and Israel. So now, keep in mind, guys, these people are getting their asses handed to them, and no one's fucking questioning them. No one's talking about it. But we're talking about Hamas and Israel. Go fucking figure. Don't you hate when you lose your place? All right, there it is. So, Prime Minister Netanyahu, on the day after the Gaza Strip will be demilitarized as long as necessary. The IDF will continue to control the security of Gaza Strip in order to prevent terrorism from it. Now, this is what I was talking about. This is the shit, guys, that gets us, the United States, in deeper hot water with the rest of the world. Why, when leaders make statements like this, when they make statements as we're going to take control of Gaza Strip and security of Gaza Strip for as long as necessary, that turns into indefinitely, which turns into permanent. So, I'm going to talk about an article where it says, it's by Reuters, it's Israeli gives the nod to Gaza marine gas development wants security assurance in that area, in the Gaza area. So again, guys, follow the fucking money, and there it goes. Now, listen, what Hamas did was horrendous. But again, I say this repeatedly, Israel let this happen. Why would they let this happen? Well, they let this happen because, again, they want the Gaza gas, if you will, over in the Mediterranean Sea. There's a port. They want to build a port, in Gaza. So Israel letting it happen is, did I say Reuters? Is it Reuters? That's what I meant to say, right? Am I saying it all wrong? Reuters, yeah. Reuters. 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 Whatever. So they want security there, guys. They want fucking a gas line developed there. That is a problem. And again, follow the money. Follow why that attack happened in Israel. Why all of a sudden these guys got over the wall. They supposedly killed all the soldiers at the wall. They had no hint to this happening until it happened and goes, oh, whoa, we were surprised. And then the response for the IDF was super slow. In places that should have took them to get there in half an hour, it took them 6 hours to respond. Now, I know that they were rallying up their troops, but they always have troops on deck. So it wasn't like they had to get everybody. Reuters. Thank you, Darryl. It is Reuters. Reuters. Routers. Reuters. How is it Reuters? I don't want to get into this English thing right now, but it sounds like routers. Reuters. 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 Whatever, man. Again, routers, Reuters, fuck them. It's all the same. Dusty Jones, why am I still living in New York City? Because I got my job back. That's why. And like an idiot, I inherited this apartment when I shouldn't have. Whatever. But pronounced Reuters. Now everybody's an English scholar. It's called Reuters, stupid. But whatever. So guys, the October 7th massacre proved once and for all that whenever there is no security control, terrorism comes back and hits us, and this was also proven in the United States. So I will not agree to give up security control under any circumstances. Again, Benjamin Netanyahu making an excuse as to why he should hold on to Gaza Strip and provide security. This is, again, guys, a big fucking problem. Because the Arab nations are going to look at it, and I think other Arab nations want that as well. So now they're essentially fighting over a gas line. Not because of what Hamas did, because it was, again, let to happen. Anyway, announcement. IDF spokesman Daniel Haggerty, pretty sure you guys are going to correct me on that. There has been a lot of misinformation from Gaza today. This was today. So I want to clarify the facts. There is no siege. I repeat, there's no siege in the Shifa hospital. The east side of the hospital is open for safe passage of Gazians who wish to leave the hospital. We are speaking directly and regularly with the hospital staff. The staff of Shifa Hospital has requested that tomorrow we will help the babies in pediatric department get to a safer hospital. We will provide assistance as needed. And that's the other thing, right? This old chair is comfy. It's broken in. Leave the H chair alone. The H chair feels very comfortable. So, leave my leprosy chair alone. London today, guys. A city under wild Muslim control. Wild Muslim control with flags of Al Qaeda and Jihad. Now, these, again, pro Palestinian protesters are getting more and more brazen. They're whipping out I've heard more of the Al Qaeda flags and ISIS flags being flown. They're getting way, way too comfortable with these flags. They're bringing a lot of them out now, and a lot of people are not hesitantly. And
Sorry, I'm still not sure about that.
Someone's texting me now. It's Reuters, whatever. So your baby mom on number 11. You'd be number. No, I'm not even gonna say that one. But anyway, guys, people are becoming more brazen. They're now supporting Hamas. Like, you see people. Do you support what Hamas did? Well, and this is one reaction. I haven't heard too many, but one reaction was, well, they had to do what they had to do. What the fuck? TikTok, guys, and I said this again, and I'll say this over and over again. TikTok is poison. A lot of TikTok videos or accounts are steadily telling people that they should support Hamas, that they should support certain things. And people are slowly buying into it. They are slowly, not slowly, but they have one hell of a propaganda campaign on TikTok. Like some shit I've never seen. And I'm only seeing these videos on Instagram because I don't have TikTok. But people are posting a lot of videos of the pro-Hamas, pro-Palestinian videos on Instagram. And I'm like, this can't be. This is insane. We are watching the same shit that happened right before World War II with the Jews. It's insane. When people said history repeats itself, boy, does it really repeat itself. Because it's repeating itself. Holy shit, man. Never seen anything like it. So, next on the list. A monument has fallen. A monument to the fallen of the Great War from a small town in France has been vandalized by pro-Palestinians. So, let me see if I could pull up that picture. Because I was supposed to upload it and I completely didn't. And here it is. So again, guys, they're becoming more brazen because it's going unchecked. If you start breaking knuckles, you won't have this problem. If you start telling people, so this is what they did to this monument, if you will, right? Now I'm pretty sure they can clean that off. It looks like it's like chalk or crayon, so that can come up pretty easily. But again, why, right? Allow these babies to keep throwing temper tantrums without checking them. This is what it looks like. It looks exactly like this. So again, guys, things need to be done to correct the behavior of spoiled brats throwing temper tantrums. They are getting increasingly out of control, and for no reason at all, because if they redirected that energy, they could buy a ticket, go to Palestine, go to war. I'm pretty sure it's that easy. So in the news today, article states, is Europe waking up? The second night of riots in Spain against the leftist government and uncontrollable Muslim migration. In Spain, they're going at it. Spain. Spain is like, I mean, anytime I think of places like Spain and Italy, I think those are nice places. They're eating baguettes, and wait, baguettes is French. Anyway, they're having spaghettis and pizzas and whatever the hell they eat in Spain, Mediterranean diet, and they're drinking wine and relaxing. And this shit now in Spain is out of control. I didn't see any videos, but I read another article on this, or rather another cutout, if you will, on this, and it's crazy. It is crazy. The Muslim temper tantrum is out of control. Out of control. Yes, spoiled brats. They need spankings. They need spankings. Now, however you want to give them that spanking, that is up to you. But they need a spanking. But this is what happens when it goes unchecked, guys. This is exactly the shit that it was like the BLM shit. It went unchecked, and what did they start doing? They started ripping cities apart, burning shit to the ground. They started acting like giant babies because they weren't getting spanked. Sometimes, guys, you got to spank people. When you spank people, you got to break a couple knuckles. When you break a couple knuckles, you break a couple arms. And as you're breaking arms, you accidentally break their legs. You know? And then that's it. But it's out of control. Now, announcement from Nashal, if I'm not mistaken, he's a Hezbollah something or another. The one who's running the war in Gaza is the United States. That is why we need to put pressure there. He's suggesting Nasrallah, is stating they need to put more pressure on the United States. What pressure does that look like? So the pressure that I'm thinking he's talking about, again, look up Unit 910. They're directly related to Hezbollah. So if that is in fact true, and they want to put more pressure on us, we could be seeing some kind of waves, if you will. So Syrian President Bashar al-Assad arrived in Saudi Arabia capital to participate in an emergency Arab summit, which will be held Saturday, today, to discuss the means to stop the war in Gaza and condemn the Israeli of killing Palestinians. Now, here's a fun fact. Assad killed 500,000 Syrian civilians and counting. So this man is killing people in his country, but is looking at Palestine and go, we got to stop this Israeli shit. This is a nightmare. This is, again, guys, all a money grab. This is about that pipeline that wants to be started over there. That is why. But again, nobody's seen that far. Pay my tickets and me. So, the emergency Arab meeting that they were talking about is an emergency conference of the Arab League. 11 countries refusing to accept 5 important clauses in the resolution. 4 opposed, 7 abstained. The article that 11 countries refuse to accept are 1. Prohibition on American base in their territory, or prohibiting, American base in their territories to supply Israel with weapons and ammunition, meaning they don't want any bases that can easily get over to Israel to supply them. 2, freezing of diplomatic, economic, security, and military ties with Israel. That's probably including us. Threats of using oil sanction and other economic sanctions. 4, preventing Israel civilian flights from passing through their airspace. So they're going to make them go around, which, again, they'll adapt and they'll do. 5, establishment of a ministerial committee of the Arab League that will spread the message on behalf of the countries in the West. The countries that raised proposal and support it are Syria, Algeria, Tanzania, Iraq, Lebanon, Qatar, Kuwait, Oman, Libya, Yemen, and Palestine. And they say the Palestinians. Listen, guys, the Palestinians are not voting in this. It's the Palestinian government, not the Palestinians. They keep saying that they're going to put the fucking Palestinian in power, and it's the Palestinians. They're going to make the call. It's not the Palestinians. They're busy dodging bullets and bombs and shit. It's the Palestinian government. It's a fucking ruse to make us believe that the Palestinian people have power. They don't. They're like everyone else. They're like every other country. No power. The four countries that object and the rest that abstain were not specific. These are the other Arab League members who oppose or abstain, which is Bahrain. I never heard of this place. Comoros Island, Egypt, Jordan, Morocco, Saudi Arabia, Somalia, Sudan, and the UAE. And then there was another country I could not pronounce. I think it's Djibouti. Oh, Djibouti and Mauritania. Mauritania, if I said that right. Never heard of these countries, but whatever. Those are the countries that were object and or abstain from this policy that they want to implement. So I found this to be interesting because, and I'm gonna say why. The Prime Minister in the UK found what the police did in London, if I'm not mistaken, to be disrespectful. So the Prime Minister is against the police for approving a pro-Palestinian demonstration today. So the British government accused the London police of pro-Palestinian bias. This is after the police allowed a demonstration to support the Palestinians today, Saturday, which is the day on which Armistice Day is marked in the First World War in memory of war vets. Sorry. British Prime Minister Rashid Sukan said that the police will be responsible for any problems or trouble or define the incident as a display of disrespect. I thought it was pretty interesting for him to state that. Now, this is what I was talking about earlier. Hamas supporters in New York City surrounded Grand Central Station and are attempting to breach the outer door to reach police officers sheltering inside. I don't know why the cops are sheltered inside and they weren't outside, preventing them from getting to the doors. But nonetheless, they got to the doors, and I don't think they got inside. I think at some point they just gave up. Australia, tonight, pro-Hamas supporters traveled an hour. This is what I was talking about earlier. Traveled an hour from Melbourne north to a Jewish community in Caulfield, only to break through police lines and violently attack local Jews. So again, guys, this is the same shit. This is the same shit that happened to Jews. These guys traveled an hour to go attack some Jews in a small, quiet community and got past the police to do this shit. History repeating itself. Do we have troops there? I don't know. So now, the chief of Hezbollah, Hassan Nasrallah, calls to drag out the war between Israel and Hamas for as long as possible. Pressure needs to be expanded, he states. It is time is necessary for the movement of the resistance. So I don't know, man. This whole thing is just, it's like it's slowly creeping. I thought we were gonna see some horrendous shit by now. We're not. Everything is taking its fucking pace to get to where we all think it's going to end up at, or where it ultimately is going to end up at. But sorry. Anyway, moving right along. Israelis making a mistake by attacking us. All objectives will fail. Again, this is by the Hezbollah chief, Hassan Nasrallah. He states, Israel has not achieved any accomplishment in that can present to the citizens. They are still unable to present an image of victory or an image of defeat to the resistance. That's them. The leader of Hezbollah spoke Saturday afternoon addressing the recent hostilities initiated by Hezbollah. initiated by Hezbollah against Israel and the IDF force, and also warning against Israel's reaction in Lebanese territory. The Israeli cruelty is intended to subjugate the people of the region and crush the legitimacy demands for rights, or the legitimate rights demands for rights. Sorry. At the beginning of his remark, Nasrallah referred to the conflict in Gaza, stating, "In Gaza, there are two events that are developing. The first event is the Israeli aggression against the residents of Gaza, and the second is the event is visible and significant response to Palestinian resistance against the enemy force." He's talking about Hamas. He's calling Hamas the Palestinian resistance force. Whatever. The occupation turned to Lebanon after the crime in Gaza and deliberate and cruel killing. Again, they keep bringing this up. They keep bringing this up as if Hamas didn't do anything. The Hamas leaders and Hezbollah leaders, rather, sorry, are acting as if Israel woke up one morning and said, "You know what? Let's just start dropping bombs over there because we have nothing better to do." Now, again, keep in mind, I believe wholeheartedly that Israel let this happen. Still, even if it went down the way it went down, which I think, again, it let happen, even though it went down the way it went down, Israel still had a what you call it, to respond. They still had a duty to respond, and they did. Right? But now the Hezbollah chief is calling for, he's not saying to attack the United States, he's indirectly saying it. So the ones who stop the aggression is the ones who manage it, the United States. The one who manages it and decides this battle is the American government. And all pressure must be directed towards the Americans. When you talk in that language, when you use that language, you use that kind of verbiage, you're talking about attacking the United States. I wholeheartedly think they're going to attack the United States in some way, shape, or form. I just don't think it's going to be like what I was mentioning earlier, where there was 20-something cities. No, I think they're going to focus on a couple cities in that list. New York City's always on that list. New York City is the welcome terrorist mat. Everybody focus on New York City because that's where it's at. Because listen, even fucking terrorists know that this city's popping. Even though it's a liberal shithole, there's still a lot of good shit going on here. And terrorists recognize that. And before they attack, they want to go to a disco club. No such thing anymore. They want to go clubbing. They want to do all of that shit before they bomb this place. Because this shit is this is just the place to be, apparently. So, again, guys, this whole thing is just going to get worse. Now, if and when it does get worse, guys, here's the thing. Here's a simple thing. I'm going to say this a million times. I'm going to say this till I'm blue in the face, or until I'm dead. We are not to panic. Do not panic. Do not get scared. Something scary is going to happen. That's without a doubt. Something scary will happen. But we are not going to budge. Pat Murphy. Is Pat Murphy on crack or cocaine? Or is he on heroin? Because he's like, I catch his shit every now and again. I'm like, yo, dude, this is my channel. If I want to say shit, fuck, piss, and shithole, and shithole up the fuck, piss ass, it's my channel. Say what the fuck I want. Because this is the Angryprepper. Yeah, a disco club. I don't know why I said that. So, talk about fucking being delayed. Holy shit. Her flight was supposed to leave at 8. It is now 10 o'clock. Or almost 10 o'clock, rather. It's a fucking long ass delay. But anyway, guys, don't turn into a bitch. Don't collapse, like origami when you see some shit goes down. When it goes down, it's going to look ugly. It's going to look scary. But we're going to react accordingly. A lot of you who live in nice neighborhoods around, America, or small town America, I like to call it, you guys are not going to be touched by a lot of this shit. You might see some things, but you're not going to be touched by a lot of it. It's those of us that are still here in the city that are, going to do what needs to be done and are going to continue to work. Because if some shit goes down here in the city, guys, I'm responding to it. That is just how it is. There is no leaving New York City. There's no moving out at that point. It's responding to it and being here for as long as I possibly can. Sentence to Bet said both of them are whack jobs. Thank you, Prep Reveler. Rick, thank you for that. I appreciate it. 5 minutes. Thank you, Hudson Valley. Thank you for the 5 minutes warning. They're like, oh shit. So yeah, guys, this is not the time to become a bitch. There are so many things good that's going to happen. And guys, in the next, 5 years, they're talking about the dengue fever getting worse and spreading around the world and becoming a pandemic. 5 years. They gave us a 5-year warning this time. They're like, well, at least you guys get a fucking 5-year warning. We're going to let you guys know that this is going to be circulating around the world. And it's going to suck because dengue fever apparently is very, very painful. And it's, and I don't know what the mortality rate is. I'm not sure what the mortality rate is. But I know that it's a painful disease to have. It makes your bodies ache. None of your business. Yeah, man. Because I live in a city. This is fucking New York, man. The sirens, and this is part. If you stop hearing sirens, and there are nights where you don't hear them, you're like, yo, what the fuck's going on? You got to look outside. You got to look out your window. You're like, yo, are people still, like, did the fucking city cease to exist? That's how much we hear it. And when you don't hear it, you're just like, what the fuck? You get a little nervous. So, Jason Aldean's music sucks. Johnny, yes, I'm not a big fan of his music, but I like that song, and that song put him on the map again. Or maybe, I don't know. I mean, I knew nothing about the guy until that song came out. It's Dengue Fever, not Dangle. Dengue. But, it's called bone break disease. Is that why it's painful, Kristen? All right, that makes sense. Dengue fever. But yeah, guys, it's they're talking about that spreading, and then of course Bill Gates, in his infinite fucking wisdom, keeps telling us how we're going to see another pandemic. Now, I don't know if that's the one he's talking about, but he keeps bringing it up. Pat is not a chick. It's because what is Pat? We'll call him It's Pat from now on. Because we don't know what Pat is. And I'm not even... So yeah, guys, whatever Bill Gates said is going to happen, he's giving us a heads up. He's just like, there's going to be another one. But I think the next one that we see is definitely going to be a fucking big issue. I think so. All right, guys, so before we go off the air, do me a favor, hit the thumbs up or the thumbs down, whatever floats your boat. Just help out with the... That is a shit show. Holy shit. So yeah, before we go off the air, guys, just hit the thumbs up or the thumbs down, whatever floats your boat. Pat, if you're non-binary, just hit the thumbs down, please. Make yourself feel fucking happy. I hope. Did some of you guys see that video with the non-binary chick that got pulled over? And the guy was like, the officer was like, "Are you drunk?" And she goes, "No, I'm non-binary." I'm like, "Bitch, what the fuck does that have to do with anything? Are you kidding me? Like, what the hell is going on here, man?" And the guy's like, "Ma'am, I need you. Please don't. I'm non-binary. Please don't call me ma'am. Call me Kaya." What the fuck's a Kaya? And what is going on? Why are these people pulling these pronouns out of their asses and they're like, "Oh, my pronoun is pup and pup-like." What the fuck's a pup-like? And why are you a pup? Why are we playing into this game? Why in the fuck are we letting these fucking morons dictate how we talk and think? Fuck you and your pup bullshit. We had one guy, the one kid that said he was like a cat. He's like, it's cat something or dog something. He's like, "Oh, you want to go for a walk?" "Yep, that's dog symptom or dog something another." I'm like, "What the fuck is that? What is that?" Holy shit, man. I'm like, the guy was like, "Oh, you like to go to the bathroom? You're like a dog." We got to start punching people in the face. Fucking hard, man. And don't even pull your punches. Just flow with it, man. Just fucking bang. Punch him in the fucking face. It's enough already. Enough. This fucking bullshit is out of control. How are we letting... And then they're wearing dog ears. And they're like, I'm a dog. I'm like, what? Why? Why? Why are we fucking... Whatever. Yo, insanity's at an all-time fucking high right now. I don't understand this shit. I don't understand. There was a school in PA somewhere where the girl said she was a cat. I think I told you guys some of this shit. And they put a kitty litter box in the bathroom. Oh my God. Like, and it was a girl. So that means she has to pull her pants down and squat over fucking kitty litter. And the school put it in there. As a parent, I would have taken the kitty litter out of the girl's bathroom, went to the principal's office, and destroyed the principal's office with kitty litter. There's something that has to be done, guys. And talking about it and trying to discuss it together is not working. It just isn't working. At some point, guys, we got to do something about it. We got to be the threat. Because this shit ain't working. It really isn't. I'm like, what the fuck, man? Like, yeah, it's serious. I mean, like, what's your pronoun? Superman. My alter ego is Clark Kent. You know, I mean, like, I could fucking leap from... What the fuck is this? I'm Batman? You know, like, why aren't people doing that? And then the parents are playing into this shit. Why is your kid running around with dog ears and a fucking dog tail? Is your kid going to start pissing on a hydrant? Because if your kid pisses on a hydrant in front of my kids, I'm kicking your kid in the balls. Like, boom. I'm sending those nuts right up to his throat because that is some bullshit. Nonetheless, it has to be in the tap water. It has to be. It has to be in the tap water or the air. I don't get it. I don't get why we are letting these people come up with pronouns that don't even... What's a kaya? Can someone explain to me what a kaya is? Pat, shut your whore mouth. Nice one, Brian. Shut your whore mouth. Very fucking good. I like that. Anyway, guys, I'm going to get off here. Head over to the Angry Truth channel. Yeah, Renee, it's mental illness like you wouldn't fucking believe. But anyway, guys, I'm going to hang over to the Angry Truth channel. I will see some of you guys over there. The rest of you guys, I'll see you Tuesday night. I can guarantee you some shit's going to go down tomorrow. If there's a big protest tomorrow night and I'm off, I will film it. If not, I'm going to stay home and lick my wounds because I'm getting too old for this shit.